Hi guys, welcome back to Homestead Wish. I have a very important question for you guys today. Have you ever heard of Utica Greens? If not, I'm not surprised. It's a regional Italian-American dish originating from Utica, New York, hence the name. And in case you didn't know, that's where I grew up. I had a special request to make this from a family member, so I thought I'd bring you guys along with me and show you the recipe. This is something I make every year around Christmas time, and if I don't, oh my God, I will never hear the end of it. But this is something you can make anytime. It's quick and simple to make, and the hardest part about this is boiling your greens. So stick around and watch me make this awesome dish. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to do is chop and wash some of our escarole. This is what escarole looks like. It's just a bitter green. It's very easy to grow too. So a lot of the times the Italian immigrants would have backyard gardens and they would grow this in their backyard. But if you don't have escarole or you can't find escarole, you can substitute Swiss chard, and chicory, I've heard, is also perfect. So I'm just going to get right to chopping. And we have to give these a good wash when we're done because there's oftentimes sand and dirt in the bottom. And we're just chopping them up into roughly bite-sized pieces. I'm going to chop the end right off. I have a pot of water on my stove getting ready to boil behind me because we have to blanch these greens when we're done washing them. Okay, to our sink we go with our chopped up greens. We're going to give them a good rinse. While I have my cutting board out, I'm going to go ahead and prep the rest of the ingredients we need to chop up. So 1 to 2 large onions. I have a whole head of garlic here, well, a head and a half of garlic. It's heavy on the garlic, but that's what you want. And then we're going to do like 4 to 5 hot cherry peppers, depending on how spicy you want it. This is just about the last of my homegrown garlic, and I'm kind of sad about that. But it's April right now, the end of April, mid-April. So in a couple more months, we'll have more. I did plant some last fall. So we're just going to chop up our onion. Bite-sized pieces, small-ish is what you want. In case I didn't mention it, I chopped up, I think 4 or 5 heads of escarole. And I'm doubling this recipe. The escarole really does cook down quite a bit. I'm going to say that's good on our onion. I don't think we need the second one. I'm going to put our onion into a bowl because the onions really do a number on my eyes. So I'm going to get this out of my face so it doesn't make me cry. And we're just going to go ahead and prep our garlic now. And I might need more garlic depending on how this looks after I get it all chopped up. You want larger chunks of garlic. Just go ahead and give them a smash. Get all your peels off. I'm glad I'm using up my garlic actually because this one's sprouting. Excuse me, this one's sprouting a little bit. So we'll chop that little piece off and then just chop the end off, the root end of your garlic. And just go ahead and give it a rough chop. While we're chopping up our garlic, I'll give you guys a little bit of a rough history of the recipe Utica Greens. So from what I could find online, Utica Greens originated in the year 1980, and the owner of Chesterfield's, which was a popular Italian-American restaurant in Utica at the time, actually came up with this. It's hard to find outside of upstate New York, but it has gotten some traction over the years. Rachel Ray actually featured a recipe for Utica Greens on her TV show. I think it was back in the early 2000s. Because believe it or not, she's from upstate New York as well. Not Utica itself, but somewhere around the general area. I think this is going to be plenty of garlic. But it's okay. You can't have too much garlic, at least in my opinion. I've tried to find Utica Greens outside of Utica, New York, and it's possible, but the recipe is just not the same at all. We have a place here where I live called the Utica Pizza Company, funnily enough. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to have Utica pizza, they're going to have Utica Greens, Utica style pizza, I should say. Utica style pizza is much different than your traditional pizza, so I was like craving that. And I was super excited to potentially find that in here, in this area where I live. So I got a pizza from that place. I got the Utica Greens from that place. And needless to say, I was super disappointed in both. So, anytime I want Utica Greens now, or, you know, any type of Utica style dishes, I just make them myself. And growing up in Utica, they're more authentic when I make them versus buying them that somebody else made. All right. I'm calling that good on the garlic, guys. See, it's kind of in bigger chunks, but not, you know. There's a little piece of paper in there. All right, my water has now come up to a boil also, so I'm going to start blanching my greens. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back with my greens. My water is boiling. It's not salted, it's just regular plain water. We're going to put as many greens as we can into the pot. Once we do that, the water will stop boiling, and then you just want to bring it back up to a boil and let these go for maybe a minute tops. We're just blanching them, we're not cooking them, because we are going to saute them in a pot, and then we're going to saute them in a cast iron skillet and then put that into the oven to bake. So you don't want these to disintegrate into nothing, you just want to get them slightly softened. And this also helps with some of the bitterness that you're going to get with the escarole. Just get them all submerged under the water and let it go, like I said, for a minute tops. Once these are done, we're going to scoop them out and just put them in a strainer and then run some cool water over them so it stops the cooking process. See how it's barely bubbling around the edges? That's kind of what you want. And, you know, that's when I start my timer for my 1 minute. Okay guys, I have my escarole all done. It's draining behind me. I have my oven on 350 degrees, preheating. And I have my large cast iron skillet with about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of olive oil in it. What we're going to do is add this diced pancetta. This is kind of like bacon. It's just not smoked. That's what I use, but people also use prosciutto in this. But this is the way I like to make it. We're going to fry up our pancetta in the olive oil. And I have two 4-ounce packages. That's enough, I think. But you can go heavy on the meat if you choose. That'll be fine. It's just going to make it taste better. So we're going to get a little bit of color on here. Now once our pancetta has gotten a little bit of color on it, like this, we're going to add in our onion and garlic and just cook it long enough to soften them. And yes, that is a lot of garlic, and I'm aware of that. Oh, it's starting to smell amazing already. There is nothing like the smell of onions and garlic cooking together. Yum. You don't want to get any color on your onions really. You just want to soften them. So if you notice that they are starting to get some color to them, just turn the heat down on your stove. Mine is at medium-low currently. Alright, my onions are pretty much there. They're nice and translucent looking. They've softened up quite a bit. So I'm going to add my chopped up cherry peppers to the pan, and I went ahead and I chopped these up off of camera. I did do the 4 hot cherry peppers, but like I said earlier, if you want this more spicy, you could add more, or you could add some hot red pepper flake to that. That would be also awesome. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of that brine. It gives it a nice tangy flavor. And I don't know, that was about 2 or 3 tablespoons worth. And I still have this on medium-low heat, but you could actually turn this off now because all we're going to do next is mix in our greens. I'm actually turning it off now. And I'm going to bring my greens over. So these go right in. And we're going to do our best to mix this together in this pan. Okay, everything is nicely combined so far. And now what we're going to add is about a cup of breadcrumbs, Italian flavored or Italian style. And a cup of Pecorino Romano cheese. And you really want to make sure you get the Pecorino Romano that is made with sheep's milk and not cow's milk, because that makes a ton of a difference. You want that nice tangy umami flavor that the sheep's milk gives us. Okay, we're going to mix that in together also. And I've seen this made where, you know, they don't mix in the breadcrumb or the cheese to the dish and just sprinkle it on top. But I think mixing some of it in makes it have kind of like a creamy texture when you're eating it. And that's the way I'm used to having it. And if there are any, you know, moisture left in your greens, the breadcrumbs kind of will soak that up, because you really don't want this soupy. You want it to be nice and sturdy and held together. If you guys have noticed, I have not added any salt to this because everything in here is pretty salty. The cheese is salty, the pancetta is salty. You got lots of flavor from the cherry peppers. I'm just going to give it a taste, though, just to make sure it doesn't need any salt. No, it doesn't need anything except for what we're going to do next. So we mixed in some breadcrumbs, about a cup. I'm going to sprinkle more breadcrumb over the top and more cheese. Maybe another cup's worth, if that. Okay. We're going to sprinkle over more cheese. Ooh, these came out in clumps. You don't really want clumps. I'm actually going to go in with my hands and do this, just so we don't end up with any clumps. Maybe another handful. So that's about 1 more cup of cheese or so. Okay? Then we're going to drizzle the top with more olive oil. And this is not a diet dish by any means, but it is delicious. We're just going to drizzle the top. Maybe another 1/4 cup or so. And I'm going to put this into my oven for 10-20 minutes. I'll check on it. You just want the top to get nice and golden. Now, there we go. All right. So I'm going to check that at about the 15-minute mark. All right, guys, this was in the oven for about 20 minutes until it was nice and bubbly around the edges, and the cheese on top got a little golden brown. And it looks and smells amazing. I do want to have a taste test with you guys, but I have to let this cool for a few minutes because it is very hot and it will burn my mouth. Okay, guys, I think this is cool enough for me to give it a taste test here. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Looks nice and creamy. And it's steaming. It's still very hot, but that's okay. Yum, yum, yum. I can't wait. See? Hot. That is so good. It's nice and tangy. It's creamy. It's got just the right amount of heat to it. Oh my gosh, you can taste the garlic. It's amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you make this yourself and you can have a little taste of Utica, New York. But this whole pan is going to my father and mother-in-law, and they're going to love it. So thanks for watching me today, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.